Hey everyone, Dominic Esposito, your drill instructor. Welcome to another edition of the clinic. And I want to thank our sponsors for Diamond Billiard Table, Tony for our perimeter lighting, Dr. Harrison for my glasses, the dealers and the fans, you friends, everyone out there. Thank you so much. Special thanks to Pool Dog for a great job they did. Last week I was out at Quincy, Illinois for the Pool Instructors Summit. It's also where I believe they had the Masters event. It was quite exciting there to be just around all of the most top training people from around the world and to be part of it, to get to teach. And I'm really thankful. So big shout out to all those instructors and fans and friends who came from all over the country. There were several countries represented and it was exciting. And I thank you all so much for allowing me to be part of that with you. So here's what I want to get into tonight, because I'm going to give you a drill that's pretty close to about 400 balls. So I'm not going to bog you down shooting a lot of them. I just need you to get the setup and get the understanding, because I have found this to be a significant problem among most of you players. And you assume you got this, but I don't think so. Let me show you the table setup so that you can work on what I'm working with here, okay? Now, in DITV, you're going to see a lot of real technical stuff. And this is something that's not in any of my books, and I wanted to give you something a little bit extra tonight so you can see, gee whiz, I should think about getting on DITV, because he teaches some really technical stuff. And there is a lot of technical stuff that I cover there. And so in this setup here, so now you've all had a chance to look at it while I gave you a moment. These balls are set up from the first diamond incrementally every half diamond to the side pocket. And then starting from directly across, the cue balls are incremental. Now, you may all not have a bunch of cue balls, and I understand that. You might just have one, and that's perfectly fine. You'll just have to do a little bit more hustling. Otherwise, every month, why don't you just buy an extra cue ball? Believe it or not, by the end of the month, or the end of the year, you're going to have realized, boy, I'm so grateful I have these cue balls. Now, once you've done the drill on this side of the table, flip it over. And so this part of the drill here is about 200 balls. And then right down here is your 8 ball. Now you could make this the 8 ball, the 9 ball, the 10 ball. Depends on what game you play. This will give you a sense of reference to what you're shooting. So technically, when I set this up, now you all see what's going on here. I am going to pocket the ball and then make shape on the winning ball and pocket the winning ball. Now, one of the things I've done down here, you can see I drew a couple of tracks. So here's a big one here from this half a diamond to this half a diamond. That's the zone I want to be landing in. The same thing here. I've got marks on the table from roughly this full diamond. We're really a little less to this half a diamond. So I don't want to get too close to the pocket. But this is my target zone for where I want to land to then pocket the winning ball. Okay, so you've all seen the setup. Now, you're going to need to learn the shots. And once you do the homework, you will learn the shots. So very quickly, let me just go ahead and take this first set off. Now, once again, you're going to shoot this 9 ball. This is your first ball. This ball, you have the potential of shooting only 14 times, and then 14 8 balls. So that's 28 balls per ball per side. So in this case here, now that you've seen all of the setup, I'm going to go ahead and remove a bunch of these so you can see how the table works. All right, we are live today. I thought about pre-recording this. Nah, it's okay. We'll do this. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to bank the 9 ball, unless you feel like you could cut it in, but I don't think that's a really smart choice of a shot, because the likelihood is if you hit it too thin, don't make the ball, it's going to sit here, and then you're going to wind up leaving your opponent an easy, if you could pick that ball up from the pocket and then get back down there. And all of you know, you've seen, I've taught you that shot before, so you know if the ball's on the outside, running. If the ball's on the inside, drawing. Draw on the inside, run on the outside. Just remember, you've got a few little kids in your house and you're trying to do something and you need some quiet. If they're inside the shim, if your kids are going to stay in this house, draw. If you're going to go outside this house, get out of here and go running around. That's how you remember running and draw. All right, that's a bonus. So you get a straight-in shot here, and it's going to give you an opportunity to practice your bank shots, but you got to get down there and make that 8-ball. So cue ball speed, position control in the zones, and then, of course, the drill itself. So you'll go from this drill. I'll shoot 1 or 2 of these just for the fun of it, just to see what happens. And I'm actually going to hit this with 1 tip of right at center ball, and I'm going to count on stun, and I'm going to see what happens with my cue ball before I do anything. Okay, I make this ball, I'll get a little more angle. And so you'll continue to do this same thing with shot by shot until you're learning the speed, you're learning the spin, and you're landing in the zones. Yeah, you're actually going to have to do some hard work. But welcome to hard work. So one more time, let's go ahead and do this again. We'll put a little more angle on it with 1 tip of English. So I see if I got that, I got to be real careful with that speed. So you see? So you might expect to shoot this shot 20 times until you figured it out. Okay, let's go ahead and shoot 1 more, and then we're going to move down to the next spot. So again, here I am with 1 tip of English. I'm going to put a little less angle on it this time, a little less speed. And looks like I might land just off the zone. And then you just want to hit this with center ball and just make sure you pocket the ball. The cue ball is going to come straight up the table, and that's going to be pretty much the way you work on that. And do it again and again and again until you feel comfortable with that shot. Now, you make it. Now, again, this is a 400 ball drill. So just make each one when you make it, because you're going to go back and you're going to do the drill again. So you start again. Half a diamond, only now I'm moving the ball only half a ball increments. And then I'm going to start the same thing. I'm going to start from straight across. Now, as I continue to do this, I'm going to move down the line, but let me go back to ball 1 so you could continue to see. Now I'm going to move the cue ball a half a diamond. Now I'm going to continue to shoot this 1 position with all 14 positions, but I'm going to work it out until I can know exactly what am I doing to make shape. Now, for example, here your most obvious tendency might be to shoot bottom right. Bottom right maybe works. How much bottom, how much right? So my recommendation is you start with 1 tip of bottom and then 1 tip outside. And then you move them incrementally, only 1 by 1. First you go to 2 tips of bottom with 1 outside, 3 tips of bottom with 1 outside. Then you go back to 1 tip of bottom with 2 outside, 1 tip of bottom with 3 outside. Go back to 2 tips of bottom with 1 outside. You are going to find the formula, and by doing it that way, it will lock into your memory, and when you're playing, you'll know what you're doing. So let's just look at this right here. Let's look at the possibility of taking this at center ball. Let's start with 1 tip down, 1 tip outside. Let's just start from there and see what happens. Hey, I made 2 in a row. So you see 1 outside, 1 down. This isn't going to work well in my favor from that position. What's my next choice? Well, I could certainly go ahead, shoot the same shot. This time, let's go with 1 outside, or let's go with 1 down with 2 outside, because I really do want to catch just past the side pocket on here, simply because I know all the shots and I know what I want to do. So let's go back and look at this scenario here. Now I'm going to be, let's get the cue ball where it belongs. Always be accurate in the same positions. If you need to put a mark on your table, then do so. All right, let's go back here. Now this time I'm going to go down 1, Only this time I'm going to go over 2. Let's see what happens. Well, you got to pocket the ball, so you can't think you got great shape, although I did. But now if I left my opponent like that, he could come with a good shot and certainly get me. Let's try that one more time. But I do so happen to know this particular shot as well as I know all of them. And this shot here, it's going to work beautifully with 2 tips to the right and nothing down. But I'm going to go 1 down and 2 to the right, just for starters, because that's where we were. See what I'm talking about? And watch. I'm right in the zone. See? So I want to make that, and again, from each position, then I'm going to come down here, and each time, this is the winning shot. So I've really got to stay focused on this. This is the single most important shot. I've worked so hard to make this. I better deserve it. Oh no, what did I do? And this is what happens if you're just going to goof around. That's why this shot needs to be made exactly as many times as this shot is made, because you could come with a great shot, and then the next thing you know, you hit the ball too fat, and that's what makes it come popping out. Or you can hit it too thin. Then you're going to bounce it off the rail by coming back out. So once again, go center ball. It's always smart. Take aim. Then begin your pre-strokes. Then let the shot go. The cue ball should just go straight up, and you should have no problem whatsoever. So each time you do this, you're going to shoot all 14 shots for this one position. And then when this one's done, you're going to start over and go to position 2 and start once again with straight across, starting with the bank shot. And then from there, you're going to continue to move the cue ball half diamond, half a diamond, half diamond, all the way until you're all the way down here. Yeah, you need to get to the position where every shot forces you to have to make these long, exceptional position shots. And I'm going to finish the program today by shooting this one, because this is really the toughest one of them all. For distance, a little tougher, and go up even a half a diamond. This is the toughest one all the way up here. From here, well, it's the furthest one anyway. It's not the toughest. It's probably going to be the straightest. And then you're going to have to rely more on the power of your stroke than using the rails to come back with, okay? So this one is probably going to cost you a little bit of an effort. So put you to sleep with this one. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Oh, I'm teaching a class up there on the TV already. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got. That feels pretty good. That feels about a 9 speed. Look at how fast that cue ball came back. Sorry about that. One more. One more, and then you know what I'm going to do for the next half hour if I do a 3-strike, because I 3-strike myself too. 3 strikes, you're out. So here goes. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Leave that stroke loose. You know, when you wail on that ball like that with so much power and speed, it's really easy to get your stroke out of alignment. You say, well, that's my problem, Dominic. My stroke's out of alignment. Well, you joined the club, so is most everybody's. But when you get down to these kind of shots, how do you do this? How do you learn this? The answer is pretty simple. It's like everything else I've taught you. You start with the first cue ball here, and you draw the ball all the way back. You know how to do that. And it also teaches you how to use your bridge and your extension. You might start from there. And as long as you can see that you can handle that, then start bringing the ball back in half diamond increments. Half, 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 half. Now, somewhere around here, you might begin to start to see the misses. You go, that's where your distance reveals your error. So until you take a shot and shrink it down, you can determine where you're starting to have issues from. Now, maybe your issue might start here in the middle. Maybe it won't. Let's just see if we can at least get this cue ball to stay on the table. See what I mean? If you're not shooting right, you just might need to know some good trick shots. I love that shot. I've done that in front of so many audiences. Okay, but that's not the lesson for today, is it? Screwing around. What am I teaching up there? Oh, look at that. Okay. Well, that was earlier on before we finished the place. Okay, one more try. So once again, from here, get yourself in position. This might be, once again, this is where you might find your problems. Oh, man, but I had 3 tips of bottom on that. What happened? You saw it. Yeah, go back and replay it. When you drop your elbow like that, your tip comes up. So maybe you start at 3 tips of bottom on the cue ball, but you're not staying there. So this is an area where you want to have some concern for staying level, keeping your elbow from popping up, okay? And then it should look like this when you finally get that right. Put this here. There we go. Let me just make sure there's a little bit of chalk on here so I can actually finish up. Okay, here we go. Now we got to get back in the zone, make shape on our ball, and say goodbye. Oh man, that elbow. That elbow. Did you know your brain won't tell you when you mess up? How do you fix that? Well, I've told you before, if you don't turn your head and look back at your arm and see yourself not dropping the elbow, see yourself. Okay, I cover these exercises in a lot of detail in DITV, but you've got to get yourself to the place where you lock the elbow. Now watch my elbow, okay? You're going to be able to see it's going to pin, and then watch the result. See the elbow pin? That was 2 tips of bottom. That was about a 7-speed shot stroke, and I just get the cue ball to come back. Almost made the zone. I certainly don't want to come back all the way to that pocket. I'm not too thrilled with that. Let's just go ahead and bring that cue ball back one more. Now, if you got to go, I understand. I appreciate you hanging around with me. Let's go ahead and go to I'm going to go to 2.5 tips of bottom with the same speed. 1, 2.5. All right, here we go. Same speed. I don't want to increase the speed more than 7. Yeah, 2.5 tips just about gets me down to the rail. So I could have went with 3. I guess, let's try 3. I guess 3 will get me down there just as easy. 3 tips of bottom isn't bad. So if you're struggling with your draw stroke, you start from the positions that you could make, dial in the speed, dial in the aim, and then continue like I'm doing right now and increasing your distance. Let's go ahead and add more distance just for fun. Let's go all the way to here. I'm back. Now on any 7-foot table, this is the length of the table. So I'm getting pretty close on the 9-foot. Boy, that's pretty horrible, isn't it? What's the matter with me? All right. Let's see what I would do if I'm in this kind of trouble. I don't mind staying on. It's a little bit of a daytime thing here, so I'll stay on a little extra with you. You bring yourself up to the table. Just start to look at your structure. Down in your cue. Higher on your cue. Are you dropping your elbow? Is the elbow staying locked? Staying locked. So either use the table and use the lines to see if your stroke is staying straight. And sometimes I even suggest you use the wall. Okay, that is a nice way to line up and gauge up on the wall. And then again, as you're adding distance and learning distance, that's fine. But this is only when you've gotten yourself in some trouble and you got to work out a shot. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got here. Boy, that's such an easy shot too. You ever have one of those days? I have. I'm human, just like all the rest of you. See what we get here. Like it? No, maybe a little more. I don't want to scratch in this pocket either, gang. So speed control is always part of your thinking. Thank you very much. So I'm going to keep messing around here. It's a training day, so I've got 4 or 5 hours of time I can mess around and do what I want to do, and I want you to do the same. I don't know if I can see that. That was really tight. Ah. Well, here's a little something else I'm going to work on today. So, okay, I'll make some notes. That black ball. That's why I practice with the black one, by the way. It's the hardest ball to see the edge of. I literally almost can't see the edge. Yeah, I'm hitting the rail first, like I'm supposed to, but I'm hitting it just a little too far because of the black edge. I think I'm kidding, don't you? Put a lighter edge on that ball. Maybe this will help a little bit. There we go. That's nice and tight, about 85 degrees. Yeah, you can see the edge of the ball. It makes all the difference in the world. That's why I want you to practice with the 2-ball or the 8-ball when you're making really difficult shots, because those edges are so tough to see. You train yourself to see that edge. See, I can barely see it, literally barely see it. And I've got 3 lights up here. It's that exciting, folks. So now you see you got something to do. I gave you a little extra today. Let's hit the ball a little tighter. Did I hit the ball that time? This is really tough with the 8-ball. So what do? Take lighter balls, get your eyes a little more comfortable with what you're seeing. Make a lighter colored ball so you can see it. Yes, you can see the edge of the ball. It makes all the difference in the world. So that's why this drill, I put the 8-ball down here, because it takes that drill and it makes it the toughest of all. All right, gang. Aim straight, shoot straight, split the pockets. You know all that. I love you. Thanks for letting me spend some afternoon time with you today. Okay? I got a lot going on teaching tonight, so I'm not sure I could have went live, and I didn't want to mess this up. So this is a little bit about how I would work out. So I would start to set up drills and shots and let them run for hours. What else do you do? How else do you get good? Okay. See you all soon. Love you. Bye-bye.